Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness, it's a new academic year. I'm so happy to see you and so grateful that you tuned in to the very first episode of Monday Word for the 21-22 academic year. And my guest today, yes, is Quinn Rasmussen. Quinn is the president of the Black Student Union, and he's coming by to just chat it up with me today about what's going on in that organization, where the leadership is taking us, and just what's going on in life. Quinn, how you doing? And welcome to Monday Word.
Thank you, Melanie. I'm doing pretty well. It's been a busy first few days, but I'm excited for this year and excited for all the things we're doing and all the stuff we can bring.
That's right. Let's I do want to open up in just a short moment of prayer. So let's invite everyone in. Y'all bow your heads and let's just breathe for a moment. And what I want to do is bring you into meditation. Yeah, this is a good one. So I'm going to ask everyone to breathe. Close your eyes and breathe. Imagine an emotion that makes you feel good. It can be love or kindness or compassion or gratitude or all of these emotions. Allow this emotion or combination of emotions to radiate out from inside you. This is what it feels like to be free of fear, anger, hatred, and resentment. This place of peace lives within you always and belongs to you. You can step into this place whenever you wish. It is yours, and no one can take it from you. Now, imagine the person or people you are trying to forgive. Imagine that you are their mother, and they are like a tiny baby in your arms before they hurt you, before they hurt anyone. See their goodness and humanity. Can you bless them and wish them well? Can you send them compassion and kindness? Can you let them go? Father God, we thank you for this moment to convene under the banner of Monday Word. We thank you for returning us to campus this year, to a new academic year. And we thank you for all the new people that we're about to meet and those that we're going to reconnect with. But most of all, we just thank you for your grace. Amen. Whew, that was good. I needed to. So today, actually, I know we're taping it today. It's not a Monday. It's the first day of school. Did you have classes today?
Well, in theory, I did. So since convocation is in the morning, I didn't have my morning classes, and my afternoon class was unfortunately canceled because my professor sent an email and said that he was feeling a little under the weather. So out of an abundance of caution, he's not going to come in today. And so that kind of sucked. But at the same time, I'm glad we're, hopefully changing the culture on things of like, yes, please don't come into work when you're sick. That's not healthy.
Exactly. Now, this
something
is
we should have been doing all along.
Yeah. What year are you?
I'm a junior this year, third year here. So I got all not even a full year on campus. But I'm excited to be back. It's good to see the parking lot's full again.
I know. Oh, you just reminded me. I gotta go get my parking pass. I hope I don't get it today. And what's your major? What is your major?
I am a music performance major. My primary instrument is percussion, so I hit stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I also play a little piano, a little jazz piano here and there.
All right.
So I basically live in the music building.
Okay.
Um,
All right. That's
that's
awesome. Well, I know you probably heard we're trying to get a gospel choir going. Or have you?
I know I've heard about this. I've
Yes,
heard
yes,
about this.
yes. Maybe you can help me with that because I think
Yeah,
that is the next level of distinction that we can bring to PLU is to bust out with the gospel choir, you know?
that's that would be something that I would enjoy, and
Yeah,
I think would get a lot of people excited.
I think so because it's a way to, we tried it a few years ago, back in 2015, and we had quite a bit of interest. And mainly it's because, we're a predominantly white school. And by having a gospel choir, we get to share Black culture, but then white students and others get to come into the cultural experience through song and music, which is their
Absolutely.
interest, right? Which is that intersection. And that's where we can dive into the conversation is that's where when we talk about the work that needs to be done to become anti-racist on campus is finding those kind of collaborative opportunities to share culture. So
Absolutely.
what's the BSU thinking about this year in terms of your presence and the message that you want to get out to the broader
Yeah. So one of our overarching themes, which I told you a little bit about, is Black joy. We want to really center some joy and some healing and just really appreciate and uplift each other. So we've got a few events coming up this week.
Let's talk about it.
This Friday, 10th of September, is at 12 p.m. We're going to be raising the Black Lives Matter flag out of the flagpoles on campus. We're gonna have the Black National Anthem and raising the flag, and it's gonna be great. And I'm going to speak as well as a few other students, Dr. Angie Hambrick and yourself. We'll also be saying a few words. Just starting the year off right with setting the tone there.
So let's
Then
talk about that for a minute because
yeah,
let's talk about that and then we'll move on.
yeah.
Because last year when the flag got raised, the sentiment or year before last, was it year before last when the flag got raised?
I
And I
think
know
they did it last year too.
that Murray
It was
was the president at the time when Murray was the president.
yes.
And they spoke on not wanting the flag to be just the flag raising to just be a symbolic thing or appropriation of culture, but really actually mean something. So do you feel
Absolutely.
like the university is finding meaning in what Black students have to say and do, and are you feel supported like you're belonging, or is this a ceremonial thing that doesn't really have any meaning to you?
Well, so I've never done it myself yet, so it's hard to say, but I think it certainly has some symbolic value, as you say. But I think beyond that, I think it's going to be an important kind of little cornerstone of this is important for us to do at the beginning of the year, really set the tone, and give ourselves a chance to get out there and say what we need to say, and maybe turn up a few tables here and there where we need to turn up some tables, but I think it's going to be constructive.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I want to know about turning up some tables. What are y'all passionate about this year? What are you turning up on? What issue?
Well, okay. So, well, let's see, where shall I go from here? Because I've got a whole list of things tables I want to turn out. But at least in my area of expertise, me being a musician, um, think I was started working on with one of my colleagues last semester, some work about decolonizing and diversifying the music department and the program, because of our predominantly white campus, the School of Music, or well, Department of Music is very white, which is fine, but
Is it fine?
maybe
I
we'll
mean,
see.
when you say it's fine, is it fine? I mean,
I haven't
what
decided
about
yet
it?
if it's fine.
What about it is concerning you? What do you say? What say you?
So exactly. So one of the things people were woken up to last year, especially, was wow, we don't really program a lot of music by non-white people, or even just non-white men, and that's something that needs to change. There's certain repertoire that has changed a little bit. There's certain people who've gotten it and have said, okay, we're not messing around anymore. We're not just doing a bunch of old dead Germans. We're gonna do some more stuff. There's some that haven't gotten it yet, and that need to start getting it, and that's part of the process. Um, and then even in just coursework and course material, I describe music theory and music history classes often as, and I'm going to steal this from a YouTuber, Adam Neely, the harmonic, the harmonic tradition of 18th century European musicians is essentially what it is, which is great. I love it. I love me some Bach, some Beethoven. It's great. I love the music. That's one way of looking at things, though. And there's basically one world music class that's offered, that even talks about, East Asian music or West African music or here and there. And I think it does a disservice to the students, especially, not learning about all of these different cultures, and all of these different ways of looking at music, and it's very Western European and American to a lesser extent focused, and that's all great music. Don't get me wrong; it's a wonderful, rich traditions, but it's one slice of the pie of
That's
the whole
been
human experience.
that's being presented to you as the whole pie. Like, do you have,
Not
so it's one
necessarily
slice of the
presented,
pie, but
not not
yeah.
necessarily as presented as the whole piece of the pie, but the most important and largest slice of the pie for sure.
Okay.
And that needs to change.
So what do you want to see happen? I mean, like, where is the advocacy in the best scenarios? What could the music department? I know the theater department was working hard on it because they did fences last year or year before last.
Mm-hmm.
Started
Oh
bringing
yeah.
in different stuff. I remember Nayani did some work that she did on her own with directing. So we've seen it from the theater department. What do you want to see? What would it look like change?
Yes. So a little bit of what has started happening, which is starting to get there, is with ensemble repertoire, for example, is having a diverse program, on your concert lists, having people from diverse backgrounds, whatever they may be. Not just, I'm not trying to institute a quota system or anything here, but it's very obvious when you put in the effort and when you don't put in the effort. That makes sense. So that's a big thing, which I'm seeing a little bit, certainly with the instrumental side of music. We can talk about the choral side later. But that's a huge thing, because that's important not only for students but also for audiences as well, is hearing music from more than just one background.
Mhm.
And then this is going to be the more work and harder stuff, is changing or modifying course structures and course materials to be more inclusive of other traditions and
Mm.
other cultures. That's going to be the harder one to do. But we also have some other interesting opportunities of we've got some people retiring in the next year and next 2 years as well. And there's a lot of opportunities to hire some diverse faculty and, you
Mhm.
know, get some different backgrounds. You already did a great job with hiring Dr. Cassioviana 3 years ago, Brazilian, incredible jazz pianist, who I've learned so much from because he has just a different perspective than anybody else I've ever met. And so decisions like that are going to be very important. And I'm hoping to get some student voices involved in that.
Ooh, sounds like some activism
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
opportunities. That's what you mean by turning the tables.
oh yeah. There's
Yeah,
work to be done, but
yeah,
it's important work it's gonna affect students for decades.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
those big hires especially are very important and will shape a lot of things.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited to hear that the BSU is really like thinking in this level of depth about policy and change, for the long term. That is super encouraging. What else y'all got going?
Yeah. So yeah, that the music stuff is definitely my child. I'm definitely gonna bring in some BSU stuff about that, and I know some of our other BSU members have similar qualms in their own departments, whether you know whatever majors they may be in.
Mhm.
So that's something we can try and coalesce on. Um, but for BSU, the other two events we have this Friday are the Campus Resource Fair. That's going to be in person. Yay. It is in the UC, the upper level UC, you know, have tables around. There'll be a bunch of other clubs and other orgs and stuff. So we'll have a table at that. And that's 4 to 6 p.m. if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but by the time they see this, they see you, Friday will be over. It's gonna be on Monday. And so,
Oh, that's true.
yeah, by the time this airs, so how can they follow up
So,
from
yes.
maybe they
So,
saw you at the
um,
resource fair and stuff?
see, now I'm gonna look at my calendar real quick here. Um, what we have, well, I'm gonna plug this little thing here. Is we're not sure exactly or how much we're gonna do it, or or if we're gonna do it as a club function. But the Tacoma Art Museum has a whole big exhibit of Black art,
Yeah,
by Black artists and for Black people and all that thing.
yeah,
And
that's the McKinsey collect, isn't it? The Kinsey
yes,
collection.
it is. Yeah, so we're talking about just picking a weekend this month and just going to the art museum. And I'm pretty sure students get in free on Sundays. Yeah, that sounds right. So don't have to pay anything. Um, Probably take the bus, or you know, I know Pamela, bless her heart, has offered to drive some people if she needs to. Um, so that's something we've got on the back burner.
And
We're gonna
that sounds kind of nice because you all will be leading, like it sounds like you're doing things that people can join in with you, and you're sharing culture again, which is
yes,
where
yeah,
I'm at
that's
these days, how we share our culture so that people get to know us for who we are, and then they stop shooting us in the back.
that's the goal at least. Um, so that's going on. And I think, oh gosh, I've got to find the date for our, I believe I believe the 24th
Mm-hmm.
of September is going to be our first. It's going to be both our first, both a kickback and also our first kind of informal meeting. So going to have everybody there.
Yep.
We're not sure exactly what we're going to do. If the weather's good, we're going to do something outside for sure. If the weather's
Yeah.
not so good, then we'll find an indoor space that, you know, we can be in community.
Okay. All right. So how
It's
many
always
members
hard with late September.
are you all, are you all, so is it just Black folks that belong to the BSU? Or anybody can belong to the BSU? How does that work?
So, so how I know how it's been done in the past is Black students are members and non-Black students are allies. I'm not so worried about the distinction myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, I think with all of the identity-based clubs at PLU, I think come as you are and come ready to learn. Come ready to share your experience, but also come ready to learn and accept the experiences of others. I'm not going to be at the door with a little paint swatch being like, are you Black enough? So don't worry about that. So yeah, I encourage all people of color, especially, to check in on what the BSU is doing, because we're doing Black-centered things, but also some all-inclusive things as well. And just, you know, come hang out, come learn, come share your experience. Now, don't start talking over us Black folks, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not where I'm not trying to be an exclusive space, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people know their place in the space, right? You just got to know your place
Yeah.
in the space and how,
And if you don't know your place in the space, I'll make sure you know.
well, that's what happens, you know.
Sometimes people
Like
just need a
that.
little nudge, and after a little nudge, it's okay.
Yeah. So, okay, do you feel like coming out of this COVID year of being, you know, you had to be at home and stuff. What's the energy like now? What's happening on the ground? Are students feeling like they are excited to be back, or are they nervous with the mask, or what's the student energy as you see it right now? The vibe.
So far, what I've seen is a lot of different things. There's been a lot of excitement for sure, especially out of returning students, especially. There's a lot of excitement to be back on campus. New students, there's definitely a lot of anxiety, little nervousness and apprehension. And then there's, of course, the whole class of last year that many of which never got to be on campus, or if they were on campus, it was, you know, not really campus.
Mm-hmm.
So I think so far we've done a pretty good job, I think, of making people feel welcome, and nailing down the PLU kind of community. Because I saw a lot of over the weekend, I saw a lot of smiling faces, a lot of people excited to be here. But it's still gonna be rough for a little while, because it's a big transition. It would already be a big transition for new students, but it's even bigger this year. There's a lot to worry about, but also a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
So I'm personally very excited, and I'm hoping to instill some excitement into my peers.
Well, I am so grateful that you stopped by to
Of
just give us
course.
this insight, because we didn't say it earlier, but I'm going to say it now as we close, that the theme for campus ministry this year is centered, this semester fall, is centered around connect. And so that's kind of what we've been talking about. We've been talking about, like, with the pandemic, we need to reconnect with sharing our culture. We're talking about interconnect and some of the things that we just don't want to even, you know, return to. That's a disconnect. So reconnect, interconnect, disconnect, but we're all looking at encountering God, self, others, and the earth. So thank you for helping us to reflect on our connection as we start this new year, Quinn, and really looking at encountering each other. I would say is the intersection of our communication today is encountering each other and
Absolutely.
really being clear about how Black students and the BSU want to be encountered. You know, how do you want to be engaged? You know, and in order to get that answer, it's like come hang out with you, right? Come on,
Yeah,
come and be a part of what you're doing, so you can see.
yeah. Come to an event, come to, when we start up our meetings, come to a meeting.
Mhm.
And, say hi to me around campus. I mean, I'm easy to spot. So,
Yes, and that you are, but I can't wait to see you perform. I can't wait to see
oh,
you
yes.
be in your passion, you know,
Yes.
and
Yep.
really support you in that way. So thanks for
Yep.
saying
Concerts are
yes
coming
today.
back. I'm excited. Yes. Thank you for
Thank
having me.
thank you, Quinn. I really appreciate it. And we will be here every Monday. When you see me, it's Monday Word. So until next time, go in peace. God bless you.